For some reason, the microphone wasn't working.
I was just a 5.
Oh, it is. Oh.
Fuck, well,
I forgot about that. I need aggressive tanks again. Probably 2 STRVs, 2 ID7s, 160, 1 VK. Yanni, are you here? Yes, you are actually.
Yeah.
Who wants to? Okay.
If you need one, I can play, but it's okay.
Yeah, but
What?
you can play.
What do you want me in?
Only one game.
You can
Guys,
play.
guys. Can we play fully mouse?
An
Seven
STRV.
mouse,
No,
please.
let's try it.
No.
Let's just
Well,
try it through as much.
Yeah. What do you want me in?
In an STRV together with Iqra, please.
Okay.
You don't have
And
a
then, no, Yanni, you can play in like a VK72.
VK, I don't have.
And then, oh, you don't
I don't
have, E100?
Yes.
You can play 100.
Okay.
I think you know the strategy where it's heavily aggression towards the medium side with the E100 looking over B passively.
I will see.
SCRBs will be complete corner. I7s will go towards the medium cap. I don't know which cap it is, ARC. 60 will go on the, like, you know the ramp that looks over B? You go behind it, so just covering. Yeah, that's basically it.
Strabs, where are we going again?
So you and Yuri will go completely corner, medium corner.
Okay.
I7s will go to the medium cap. 60 will go to the ramp, looking over B, but I'm like behind, like hiding, looking towards the medium cap. And Yanni will, with E100, will try and cover B a little bit.
Okay.
Be a bit more aggressive.
Yori, I'm following you.
Oh, they have 3. They're going to be very aggressive on A, by the way. I'm going to assume. Actually, I'm not sure. Go anywhere with them.
Let's get this show on
Yes,
the
with the A cap,
road.
we're going to it.
Behind this house here, on, huh?
Like, no, like more forward. So it's where I'm looking, like behind that bush. The house with the bush.
Okay.
Sure, nice. Where's
Yori spotted.
You can go for the. Oh, yeah, they are all there. So Jan, you can be more forward and you can cover from that side. Rick, you can be more forward as well. Like, what you can do is, you see that ramp over there? You can sit behind it. And then we will just have to brawl them.
Okay.
well, they will brawl us.
We can barely move.
I'm covering you, Yuri, together with Shija, in case they're gonna make that push.
Of course.
They are okay with that. Stagger.
What's my left?
Oh, they're behind.
We can't
What isn't the problem?
It's a problem for me.
Straight on.
Tracks.
strike through their armor.
Alpha.
Alpha is tracked.
Alpha's a one shot.
Be aggressive in there.
We'll cover him. Nicely done.
Now Lego. Push Lego.
Let somebody shoot Fox. Nice.
Orca's coming. I'm out of position now. I'm being farmed.
I think you need to go. And Yanni as well. You need to go to the corner. I think it's over, but you all need to
It's too late.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's too late.
But we needed your HP.
yeah.
Well, you did say they were going to be aggressive down in the corner, and they didn't disappoint.
I did read them correctly, so I'm happy about that.
Absolutely. It wasn't disappointing. They were aggressive in the corner.
That's the shot.
It's, they feel comfortable.
It's end game. We had fun. That's all that matters. It was going to be difficult against them anyway.
I mean, I did a minor performance.
Yeah. I mean, but we still smacked a few of them around, so it's all good.
Yeah. We let the STRVs, they let them run into a crossfire, like a bait and switch, so that was also
Yeah.
a nice play.
Yeah, it was all good.
Yeah.
BK was in the middle with me, so.
Well, then I want to thank you all for coming to
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. Now I've got to stream the rest of the group.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Luckily, you were not streaming, Phil.
It's still good fun.
Not streaming Phil only.
Let's just make sure we can get a team for the last PYS. That'd be good. That'd be nice.
I think we will be fine with Eric and Panzer interested.
Absolutely.
To be fair, Panzer's just another keyboard warrior.
Absolutely.
We're doing it for fun, so it's fine.
Exactly. It's only a bit of fun. Right, I've got to go, guys, because I've got to stream the rest of the group. So thanks for everybody showing up. It was all good fun. We got, for a team that was thrown together at the last minute with 0 strats, we got to day 3, and it wasn't like we were 7-0'd by end game every time. So it's all good.
Well, thank you, V, and good luck with the rest of the night.
Yeah, see you later, guys. All the best.
See you.
Bye, bye, bye. Right then, YouTube, we are now going to stream the rest of the group. So I'm now just going to do a little bit of mucking around here to sort that out. So bear with me, because we are going to be watching the rest of the group now. So just got to flick from what I've got at the moment, which is my iPad, to the actual PC version of the game. So it won't take long. We're not going to miss any of the action, so don't worry about that. But it just takes a couple of minutes to switch them around, to be fair. So bear with me while I just log out of this one and log into this one. So we're still here. We've just switched around, just logging in now to the PC game. Well, it was always going to be tough for us to turn over endgame. We always knew that. I mean, we had thrown the team together at the last minute as it was. So it wasn't like we had any massive aspirations, because we didn't. But what we did have was the understanding that we were just going to have a bit of fun and do our best, and that was it. And that's exactly what we did. We had fun, we did our best. Right, when's the next games? So, end game, their next game is in, well, about 40 minutes theirs. But I need to find out what happened in the rest of the group. So let's have a look at the rest of the group, see what they're doing. So in the third stage so far, I've got results for Appa, Alini and Raid. Group 2, FaZe and Iqra. Got results there. Group 3, Rejects. How is our top proper team doing? Well, they're through. They turned over OGT, so they are into the semi-finals today. So congrats to them. And back down here into Group 6. Well, it depends who have Iqra got. Well, they got Trick. So I don't know who we're going to be watching, but we're going to be watching one of those in about 40 minutes. So I just need to get a replay up and running, because now I've changed to my PC. So I've got no way of playing now, but it was still enjoyable. I enjoyed it anyway. I thought it was good, even if some people didn't. Right, let me just get some replays up, and we'll just talk about that last game. Oh, damn, somebody's giving me this. You can watch Random Man in the Smasher Dongle Jacket game. I don't normally play Gravity replays, but I'll play this one. So that was interesting. That was different. I'm not going to lie. It was good fun rolling out against Endgame. Yeah, aspirations.
Let's get this show on the road.
I enjoyed it. It was nice to to roll out against Endgame, give them a bit of a smacking. I mean, they were going to turn us over. That was never off the cards. But it was nice to smack them around a little bit. I'm not going to lie, and yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. This is the thing. This is why I like the tournaments, because you can, you know, you never go out there thinking that, you know, it's all doom and gloom. Don't worry about being smacked around by teams like this, because you know, you still have some fun. People still get to win some bits and bobs, and all that sort of stuff. And if you approach it with a kind of attitude that, you know, it could be, you know, you could end up turning them over and winning. You never know. I said to the team before we rolled out, we may win the first battle, because Endgame sometimes have a habit of only showing up with 6 players for their first game. So, you know, you can always hope, and that's what we did. We hoped. Unfortunately, they turned up with their full team, so that was a bit difficult. As you see here, it's a little bit. It's a different type of thing. I mean, you're playing a team that clearly got well-versed strats. Not only that, they're all amazingly great tournament players. So it's always going to be difficult, to be honest. It's always going to be difficult. But I must admit, it was good fun. I enjoyed it. I don't mind getting smacked around like that. It's still enjoyable. And you get to learn from playing against these bigger teams, to be fair. It's a good learning curve. You know, you get to see how they move around the battlefield in real time, and you know, how they focus tanks and stuff like that. And it's a good learning curve in that respect. So yeah. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Sorry that the mic wasn't working. That was an OBS issue. And I haven't changed any of the settings, but OBS decided that it was going to change the settings, and it did. So, you know, I'm not aware, because I can't hear myself. So I need you guys to tell me, and then somebody did tell me, and obviously I was in the middle of the game, so I didn't see it at first. And then it wasn't until the game finished that I realised, and then I noted it, and then, yeah, then we got it fixed. But, yeah, perk of being a streamer. The perk of doing a POV stream as well. It's one of those things. But we're carrying on with the group, to be honest with you. So it's not over. We're now switching to normal commentary mode. No longer playing. So it was enjoyable. I hope they haven't sent me more gravity mode. Oh, please don't send me more gravity mode. If it's more gravity mode, it's not going to be fun. That's not gravity. There you go. That's nice. So we've got a bit of time, about 20 minutes before we roll out in the next battles. So we've got quite a bit of time to kill here. I don't know who we're following. We could be rolling out with Endgame, or we could be rolling out with Iqra. I just don't know at this moment in time. So once I know, you'll know. Quite nice, really. It's been a while since I've rolled out in a tournament, a proper tournament. So I've enjoyed it. And we'll probably do PYS number 4. As I said, we're not try-harding. I mean, we're not in contention for anything, because we missed the first 2 PYSs anyway. So we're by no means try-harding. We're just rolling out for a bit of fun and sort of blowing away some of those cobwebs, so to speak. But yeah, it's nice to be back in a tournament like this, facing against some of the bigger teams. It's good fun. Not so much fun when you're doing the strats sort of on the fly. That gets a bit traumatic, but you know, on the fly strats is the way to go, clearly. There's not so much pressure, I can say. when you're not really, you know, the guys were really aiming to get into the top 8 and top 16s. They're under more pressure than obviously we were, because we're not aiming for anything. So you're not seeing the same pressure. When I rolled out, the last time I rolled out in the top tour, we were aiming to get up there, so it was a lot more pressure intensive. So you're not really seeing the true tour player experience. I mean, everybody, obviously there's still the we want to do well side. You know, you still don't want to get 7-0'd. You don't want to be rolled over as a complete whitewash. You still want to do relatively well. So there's still pressure in that respect, because it is a competitive game and players are still competitive. But there's nowhere near the pressure that those angling for positions are under, let's say. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. It was a break from the normal fly overhead, armchair kind of strategist view of the tournament. You actually got to see, you know, up close and personal. And I know the likes of Object 3 do that quite a lot. But still, you know, it's just something different. Yeah, I enjoyed it anyway. Quite a few groups out there today. I mean, I was looking at the groups earlier, and whilst this group that we're in, Group 6, has some really, really good teams in it. Iqra being one, Endgame being the other, PoV we're in there as well, etc., etc. I was discussing with some of my team earlier, and Group 3 is a pretty intense group, to be fair. So is Group 1, because Group 1 may have APA against Raid. Oh dear, down he goes. Why don't you send me that replay? Not a good replay to send me. You won on the caps though, so congratulations. But, let's just have a look at the groupings, so you get to have a bit of overview of that. So if we go down to the groups, now like I said, I'm not the only streamer. There are other streamers out there. So Pyroblast, who's streaming in Russian, has got Group 1. Amunet has got Group 6. Wild Ones Halper has got Group 3 in English. iShot in Russian has got Group 4. 9-0 has got Group 5, also in English. And of course I was with Group 6 because I think Amunet's now doing Group 5. To be honest with you, but I'm doing Group 6 because I was in Group 6. But there you go. Looking at those groups, so in Group 1, you've got the possibility of a Raid matched up in this game, look, with APA, and that is a big game between those two. Not going to lie, that is a big game between those two. So, you know, if those are interested in tournaments and they want to see sort of, you know, hardcore stuff, that's a good game to watch, Raid against APA. And the other one is Alini against PWNZ. We played PWNZ yesterday. We gave them a tough time. I mean, they beat us, but we gave them a tough time. Moving down to Group 2. I mean, Iqra against Joneses would be a good gun, but they're playing against RNG. So Iqra against RNG. That's be an interesting game, that. And Jones against FaZe, that'll be an interesting game. That's FaZe's second team, top team, sorry, not their second team, it's their top team. Down in Group 3, well, we got my main clan team, which is Vale, and they are against AKTS. So AKTS are sort of trying to push for position, but so is the main Vale team. We're trying to get into those top spots. So that'll be an interesting game as well. And obviously you've got Rejects and Cryon, another interesting matchup. Rejects and Cryon. The Rejects have been playing well, but so has Cryon, so that'll be an interesting game. INS unfortunately losing to Rejects. I mean, Rejects have been playing really well in this tournament. To be perfectly honest with you, they've come along a long way. So they've been playing really well. Oops, pressed it too far. So that's that group. Group 4. We haven't got Iqra through. That doesn't surprise me. BAT are through. IMOR are through, and TQT are through. That's a pretty tight group. Not going to lie, that is a pretty tight group. Test, Demon, Tournament Tank, and Unlucky are all out. But that's close. That's a tight group. Uzra, BAT, IMOR, and TQT. Uzra are going out against IMOR, so that'll be an interesting game, to be honest with you. IMOR, well, they've been up and down. They turned over Demon 3-0, whereas Uzra, they got taken 3-1 to Tournament Tank, so they're not. It could be a tricky game for them. And then BAT and TQT. Well, BAT haven't been playing too badly at all. They've been playing very nicely. They turned over Tez pretty nicely. And TQT, they've not been playing badly either. We can see here that they got taken right to the last end there by Unlucky. So that was a tough game for them. And then down in Group 6, as I said, we've got Endgame, who we've just seen turn me over. They're playing POG. POG are not doing too badly, but they've really got to step up against Endgame. It's going to be a tough game for them. Not going to lie, it's not going to be an easy game. Endgame is starting to fire, and so it's not going to be easy for POG. Got some great players though. They've got some great players in POG, so it'll be interesting to see. Endgame, well, you've just seen them. Iqra, therefore, going out with Trick. Iqra, wow, they've got some great players. I mean, Psychopath Yevgeny is a really good player. 3-2-2. Well, they're all good players. I don't know why I'm just singling ones out there. They're all great players. So Iqra have been flying high. They've got Trick next. I don't know Trick that well, if I'm being honest. But they've done well to get to here, clearly. So, yeah. And that's it. Those are the groups, and that's what we're looking at. We've got about another 10 minutes before we get the invite. So let's see if let's have a look at another replay. This one, Concept 1B. Here we go. You can have a look at this while I just go and refill my coffee cup. One moment. Okay, coffee cupped up. How's everybody doing? Oh. So we'll have a bit of a break between PYS 3 and 4. A couple of days. So this is PYS 3. It finishes today, obviously. Then PYS 4 starts on the 5th. So it's a day's break. And hopefully we're going to be rolling out again in a point of view style. So we'll try and get a team together and put the team in, see how that goes. It's only for a bit of fun and you know, just to get the tournament cobwebs blown away. But yeah, I enjoy it. As I said, we're not in any major positions to get sort of top ranking here. We're not going to be top 18 or top 16 or top anything. You know, that wasn't our aim or ambitions, to be fair. And the reason we played, I'll show you why in a moment. And for those out there who are in clans, I strongly recommend try and get into the tournaments, because it's literally one of the easiest ways to make credits, to be honest with you. Even if you falter, even if you get wrecked, you're still realistically managing to get some easy creditos. That's one thing that should never be sort of dismissed, because I know a lot of players struggle with credits, and tournaments I always find is just the easiest way to get credits, even the quick tours. Okay, now I know why OBS kicked my mic out. It's trying to push me an update, which I can't do because we're in the middle of a game and in the middle of a stream. It's a great game in this concept. Well done, Condoris. A really good game, actually. 6.2k. Can't knock that. Can't fault it. So, looking at my Discord notifications, I was told that let's have a look. Yeah, I'm in the semi-final and the final of Group 6. So there you go. There you go. So we've definitely got the semi-final and the final in Group 6. What a great game this is. Oh, what a perfect game this is in the little concept. Admittedly, he's up against a Moose now, a very healthy Moose. That really hurt. Can he face hug him and possibly get the... Oh, what a great move this is. This is fantastic. Using that mobility to get round to the back of the mouse. Desperately trying to get that turret. Oh, this is beautiful to watch. This is absolutely beautiful to watch. The mouse can't get the gun down onto anything pennable onto that concept. And this is really, really good stuff. Well done, Condoris. Oh, 8.3k. There's only 287 hit points left. Come on, get to the 9k. Get to the 9k. Oh, what a beaut. What a beaut. Wowzers. That deserves a video all on its own. I need to keep a look at that one. 9.1k. That is a great game. You're not going to get much better than that, to be fair. I mean, that's got to be Hall of Fame material. Let me have a check, because that's definitely got to be Hall of Fame. How many? Oh, no, it's Asia. But I don't know how many battles he's got. I think he's either... It could be Asia, I'm not sure. But let's have a look at the Hall of Fame, because that's definitely going to be up there. Top billing. That's got to be. Just waiting for Blitz to ready up. You can see my mouse working because it's. Your team did well. Well done, Killer. How did you get on? So let's have a look. It just seems to be taking a bit of a while to load up here. Yeah, it's still loading up. Concept 1B. Condorius is Hall of Fame #1. So that deserves a replay all on its own. A video all on its own. So well done, Condorius. Yeah, 9,128. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And it is from Asia. So wowzers. What a great game that was. We've got about 3 minutes before the invite, but so I can't play any more replays. Well, that's actually about 2 minutes. So yeah. I was just saying that to Killer. Yeah, we lost, but you know, I got to smack around some endgame guys, so that's always a nice thing because they are spectacularly good players. I'll just show you how spectacularly good they are because they really are good players. So if you look at them, not a single one of them is below 70%, and these are real. These aren't fake. Winch has got like thousands of battles, like 46,000 battles. So it's a, you know, he needs to be nerfed. Carolade, who I absolutely smacked today and murdered him. he's a great player, absolutely great player. Alpha, who gave me a hard time, is also a fantastic player. And then we have Orca, who also gave me a hard time. He's a brilliant player. Is Orca, very good light player. One of those players that you really have to be careful of when you see him on the opposite team. Nico, who is a perpetual pain when you ever see him. If you ever see Nico in a game, then avoid him like the plague because he has the ability to smack you from every part of the map. Believe it or not, he's very, very good. Destiny as well, another player who you need to watch out for. If you ever see any of these guys in your games, then just be mindful of their abilities because their ability really is amazing. Lego, again, another one. I mean, all these guys have got over 40,000 battles and with average damage almost totaling 3k. It's, you know, they're just unbelievably broken as players. They're just broken. I mean, Barris here, it may look like he's only got 336 battles, which is true, but if you look at his stats, he does a lot of tournament battles instead. So, oh, there we go. Look, we've got endgame. There you have it. So endgame, we're watching, and then we've got Fox Sexy as well, who's another great player. It is 78% win rate. Yeah. So, and then last but not least, we've got Milk, who I said to push earlier, and there he is, 79% with his 4.3k average. So these tricky players to face. Very tricky players to face. And we'll just run down the clock now. And before we jump into the room, we have got a delay on the stream, obviously, of 3 minutes. So we're just running it down a little bit, waiting for that delay to catch up. We've got Endgame, so we're going to be watching Endgame roll out, so you get to see them from a different perspective this time. Keep telling me new missions. I don't want new missions. Go away. I don't want to go to the missions. Leave me alone. Okay, now we can jump into the room. And it's a game against POG. Going out onto Canal. So, hi Kobe. It's very difficult for me to interact with you guys on the stream because of the delay. So you're not going to hear me say hi to you for another 3 minutes. But, hello. Mikhail, how are you? I think that, is that Mikhail? My ability to speak Russian is very, very limited, guys. To be honest with you. So we're going out on Canal. We will have Endgame on the north spawn, POG on the south spawn. POG have readied up first. We have Raid in the Strav K, Iqra in the 60 TP, Ergiers in the Strav K, Justem in the 60 TP, Kindness in the T100 LT, OGT in the 121B, and Venality in the IS-7. Endgame have not fully readied up yet. But you can see with some of the tanks that they've got loaded, although there is a minute and a half to go, so the chances are they may change some of those around. But they're going very, very mobile if that is their lineup. Incredibly mobile, in fact. I don't think that is going to be their lineup, but we'll see. So I'm the only spectator. But it'll be interesting to see if they do stick with that lineup. There is a minute and a half to go. But if they do stick to that lineup, wow, that's a lot of mobility. Winch and Orca, both into Leos. Destiny, oh, and Milk. Destiny, Alpha, and Lego, all in Strav Ks. And Sexy in the Sheridan. I mean, that is a seriously mobile lineup. At the moment, Caroline and Barris are just sitting on the bench. But that is incredibly mobile lineup, not going to lie. POG, on the other hand, well, they've got those 60 TPs in there. They've still got a bit of mobility, what with the 121B, the T100 LT, and the Strav Ks. Well, the IS-7 of Venality can still get around the map pretty nicely. Aqual and Justem and their 60 TPs, I mean, they're lumbering heavies, super heavies, so don't expect them to go rolling around the map very quickly. Interested to see how Endgame are going to play this one. They're obviously looking for aggressive strats onto that A cap, maybe that D cap at the same time. Really going to push hard by looks on it. So it'll be interesting to see how they do this one. I'm looking forward to this. After just being turned over by Endgame myself. So hit points firmly in favour of POG, mainly because of the very lightish lineup armour-wise that Endgame have taken. But the mobility is certainly in Endgame's favour, and if we get up to the back of the map, you can already see Fox Sexy, Winch and Orca making a big push. They're not even bothering with the A cap, they're making a big push for the D cap. And at the same time, we've got OGT and Kindness, T100 LT and 121B respectively pushing towards that D cap also. So decap is the order of the day at the moment. Sexy, Orca, Winch and Milk all here. Leos and the Sheridan. First blood, however, wow, Vavik is in the Strav K, and now Endgame are just really piling on the pressure a little bit. Hit points are being whittled down quite nastily. I mean, Ergi is down to effectively a one-shot. Now he's down to a 0-shot as Alpha takes him out. Alpha just sitting right at the back of the map there in that Strav K. And now Vavik is being caught out a little bit. He's going to move around in his Strav K. Alpha making a good move around the flank. He's very healthy in that Strav K, and after just facing him, he's also very tricky, so you've got to be careful with him. But here comes Alpha. He's going to try and put shots in across, catch them in the crossfire. Now Destiny and Orca are going to push through, try and catch out Venality in that IS-7, who's trying to get out the danger zone and get across, put some pressure onto Lego. But Venality is pretty much out of it, out of position, and he is very isolated. And all of a sudden, Lego, Winch, and Orca all trying to put shots in. Fox Sexy is fully loaded in that Sheridan. One of them, Fox Sexy, not looking to finish him off though. Good shot from Venality. Foxexy gets a great roll into Venality, but Lego should finish him off now. He's got the high ground. He misses the shot, though. But we're just going to leave that because Iqra is now coming in that 60 TP. Orca giving him a hard time, but over this side, Winch, Destiny, and Alpha all giving OGT and Raid Vavik a hard time here. Alpha, though, losing a lot of hit points. Venality finally goes down, but so is Milk. And now Orca with the push, trying to finish off. Down goes Vavik. Down goes Iqra. Down will go OGT, leaving Kindness and Justine. Kindness really getting wrecked there. Justine is the last one standing here in this 60 TP. And this one will go to Raid. Very interesting strat there by Raid, using those mediums to maximum effect. And the Strav K, whilst it is a heavy, it's more of a heavy and really getting their focus fire on point and managing to put a lot of pain into poor old POG there. So really good stuff from Endgame. POG, wow, they need to try and work out how they're going to counter this if Endgame do that again. Chances are Endgame are not going to use the same strat lineup-wise, so, but we'll see. We'll see. So this time, POG, we have Raid Vavik now in the 4005, Iqra in the 60 TP, Urgiz in the Strav K, Justem in the IS7, Kindness into the T100 LT, OGT into a Strav K, and Venality into a T100 LT. We're now just waiting for Endgame. Destiny, Alpha, Lego sticking with those Strav Ks, Sexy sticking with the Sheridan. Looks like Winch and Orca is sticking with their Leo 1s, and Milk maybe jumping into a team. No, Milk is jumping into the IS7. So a proper heavy tank this time for Endgame. Swapping the spawn points here onto Canal. So we'll see how that works out. This is best of 5, so it's the first of 3 victories. And already Endgame are a third of the way there. POG just need to buckle down a bit. I mean, it's not easy facing Endgame, never is. They're tricky opponents. And as you've just seen there, they're incredibly tricky indeed. They have the ability to just rush you without, you know, you blink, you've missed it. And their focus fire is pretty insane. However, POG have got this far for a reason, so it's well within their capabilities. It's not like it's all over for them. It's well within their capabilities to push this one. To probably, you know, put a little bit of a dent into the end game armor. Only time will tell. Interesting call here with the FV. Hit points, this time in favour of Endgame. Not substantially, it's only 400, but it's enough. Let's get up high, as we normally do, to the back of the map and see where they're going to be heading this time. Wow, those Leos of Orca and Winch are heading to that decap. Let's get around the side of the map to see. Destiny and Lego in the Stravs jumping into C. Alpha and Milk there, heavy pushing because Justine, Napoloni and Iqra, well, Justine is pushing heavily and he's losing a lot of hit points because of it. He's got to be very careful here. He's going to jump down and lose even more hit points. There you go. He lost 500. Winch is trying to get them in from the other side of the map as well. That did not go according to plan for Justine. However, Endgame have got 2 caps, D and C. A cap has been taken, but not the B cap. Iqra has lost a little bit. Milk is going to push round onto Iqra here. He's got to be careful of the FV, but he's also trying to find shots into Justine. Foxexy is coming round to put some shots in if he can. Venality has got to be careful as well because Foxexy and that Sheridan can put a lot of pressure on. But that strat really didn't work out for POG. It's a standard strat, get over that bridge, put some pressure in, but Endgame was sort of wise to it. Look at Orca right at the back there, running the ridge, trying to put pressure on to POG. Justine trying to push up. Foxexy is looking to try and get the shot in. Justine is still pushing through. Destiny and Lego, and Justine is trying to get shots across onto Milk. I don't think he will from there. Venality pushing down onto Sexy. Sexy desperately getting out of there. He gets a great shot into Steam, and he does manage to get out the danger zone. Venality and Kindness pushing together here. Steam is also now going to help push up. OGT down he goes. So First Blood goes down, but look at that. Vavik losing a load of hit points there. And the hit points are firmly now in favour of Endgame, along with the base points. And Iqra is going to feel the pain of Milk and Orca. Orca in that Leo with its great reload and brilliant DPM takes him down. Milk may go down to raid Vavik, and he does. But Vavik is now on a long reload, so Orca is going to give him a really hard time over there. Back over to this side, because this is the side where all the action is going down. Wow, Justine, Urgiz, Venality, Winch, Kindness, Fox Sexy coming back in. Alpha just at the back, but Justine is the lowest. But now Destiny is pretty low, so Destiny's got to be careful. Fox Sexy's coming around. Down goes Venality, down goes Destiny. So Milk and Destiny are down, but there's only Justine and Igriz left. And as Justine will go down, they'll push onto Urgiz, sorry. Leaving Justine, and Urgiz get a little bit of a hug from Lego, and then Lego will finish him off, and at the same time Alpha will finish off Justine. 2-0 to Endgame as we change the maps. So Endgame again, really just umping it up a notch. We're now going to change maps to Alpenstadt, which you saw us on earlier. While they're loading, I'm going to get another coffee, so give me 2 seconds. Okay, so we're all coffeed up again. We will have Endgame on the south spawn, Pog on the north spawn, Winch in a 60TP, Destiny in a Stravk, Fox Sexy in a 60TP, Milk in a 60TP, Alpha in a 121B along with Orca, Lego in that Stravk. Moving over to Pog, Ray Vavik in an AMX along with Akral, Urgiz in the Stravk, Steam in an E100, Kindness in the T100, OGT in a Stravk, and Venality in the IS7. Those are the lineups. They are going out on the north spawn, Pog. As I said, Endgame are on the south spawn. So Endgame, match point here. 3-0. 2-0, sorry. So third one's a charm. Endgame will book themselves into today's grand final if they can turn over Pog here. Pog at the moment, well, they're finding that Endgame are a tricky customer. And they're not able to dent them just yet. We earlier saw Endgame astoundingly beat us on this map.
Let's get this show on the road.
So they have got good strats on this map. And we can see here that they're going to be pushing towards the B and the C cap. Pretty much what we tried to do. Destiny will just hold back a little bit maybe. No, he's not. They are just legging it straight to the C-cap. Kindness will also be trying to get those early spots. You can see the rest of the Pog team trying to make it into the city area. And here come the mediums and the heaviums. Destiny, Lego in the heaviums, Alpha, Orca in the mediums, looking to get that C-cap. Kindness is there to spot, and he does, but he gets smacked for his troubles. He needs to get out there. He is spotted. So he's got to get out of the danger zone, which he does. Moving back over, well, Justine and Akral. Then Vavik. Vavik is just overseeing the middle area. Justine is in the E100 looking at the B cap. But we have got those 60 TPs of Endgame. Milk, Fox, Sexy and Winch, who will have the ability to push down onto Justine. You can see there, Orca and Alpha in their 121Bs pushing around that flank. Kindness, Urgiz and OGT are going to try and take them on there. They have got support from Lego and Winch, however. Alpha very far forward. And Orca getting a bit of a smacking there. And now the two Stravs are pushing down onto Alpha. There's an OGT, but they're going to lose hit points for doing this. And but they're determined to get Alpha out the game. And this is good focus fire from POG. But down goes OGT. And now this is where Lego and Destiny will spring into action and try and cut out Urgiz. And they do. Iqra, however, along with Justine, are trying to push through to finish off Alpha and Orca, trying to get around the back here. Great move by Iqra, and Alpha finishing off Urgiz there. Justine not able to keep following Iqra, and he's been caught out against Foxexy. Venality with the ram onto Alpha, but Milk will now try and put a lot of pressure on. No, he takes out Justine instead. But this isn't going much according to plan. Down goes Lego. So it's 4 against 3 now. Venality is, however, a one-shot. Milk should be looking to finish off Venality. Venality managing to get back into safety at the nick of time there. But Milk is just going to be focusing Venality a little bit. He wants him out of the game. Iqra is facing off against Foxexy and Winch. Winch is very low, but down he goes, leaving Kindness as the last man standing. And there he is off against Destiny. And Destiny will have Kindness here, so Endgame will get this. 3-0 to Endgame. Much better game from POG. Much better game from POG. They gave Endgame a bit of a hard time there, but Endgame dug deep, turned it back around again with their focus fire, and secure the victory, basically. But congratulations, POG. You didn't do too badly in that game. That was really good to watch. But commiserations, you're not progressing forward. Not to the final, that is. You'll go to the third place playoff. And congratulations to Endgame. We will see you in the final. So, how are we doing? Endgame are into the final, where they will be facing Iqra in an hour. Wow. An hour. That's like a long time. That's a really long time. And the reason it is that way is because these games are meant to take 30 minutes. POG will jump into the third place playoff, which will take place in about 4 or 5 minutes. So they're facing Trick, but it looks like we've got quite a lengthy period of time to wait. Let's have a look to see, is there any upsets in the overall standings, if we've got any more results coming through. We had APA against Raid, and they're still playing. So APA and Raid are still tussling it out on the battlefield. PWNZ against Alini, and they're still tussling it out as well. So there's meant to be roughly 35 minutes for this one. So this one shouldn't be ending until like the 25-minute mark, 25 minutes past the hour, roughly. And then they get a 10-minute break, which brings you to 35 minutes past, and then they got 5 minutes to ready up. So that's why we've got this big gap. Basically, it's because Wargaming they have to consider that each round is going to go to the maximum 5 games and take the maximum time 7 minutes. So we're still waiting on that one. Iqra, well, they went out against RNG and they turned over RNG. So Iqra is still progressing ever upwards. And Jones are against FaZe, and it looks like they're still playing, and they are still playing, so we've got no results there at this moment in time. Further down into Group 3, we've got no result at all. We've got my clan Vale against AKTS, so that's no result in that match just yet. Rejects against Cryon. There is a result there, so Rejects are through. Don't know who they're playing just yet, but they are through to today's Grands Final, turning over Cryon. So Cryon will jump down to the third place playoff. We've already seen, we've already seen Group 6. We had OPEX here. They were playing against Crowley and they lost. Crowley, unsurprisingly to me at least, getting into today's final. OPEX yet don't know who they're facing because Noxu and Who are still battling it out And I thought that would be a tough game, to be honest with you, and it's proving to be a tough game. Group 5, we had Iqra going out against Imor. They're still battling away there. And Bat against TQT. And just waiting for that to load up. Sometime, and there you go, they're still battling it out as well. And Group 6, wow, we know that it's Endgame against Iqra, which means Trick against PoV in that third place playoff. And we've got quite a lengthy period of time. Let's get another replay. Oh, we've seen this one. Sorry, my bad. My bad. We saw that one earlier. I know it's a great replay, 9K, and Hall of Fame #1, but we've already seen it. So let's have a look at this one instead. I'm running out of replays at this rate. I didn't think we'd be spending the next like 30 minutes, to be fair, waiting around. But we are. So we're just going to wait and see what happens. Ooh. Well, it's 30 minutes we've got, which means we've got, what, in real terms, we've got 25 minutes before the next games. Which in the grand scheme of things isn't that bad. Not really. And with that, just watch this game and I'll pop to the little boys' room and be back shortly. Yeah, back. Ooh. Great game this is in the AMX. Something that a lot of people struggle with nowadays. Shadow is on the south, apparently. But, it's still playable. It's not as easy as people think. No, Eric, it's not me. But, give me 2 seconds, guys, because I'm going to get kicked out of the game in a minute. Great game, that. 6.4K from the AMX. Never easy to do 6.4K. I'm running out of replays, so That's Camu. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly, you'll see me get booted out of the game. Then I'm just going to send myself a replay because I'm running out of replays. If you got any replays, send them to me on Discord. I'm more than happy to have replays sent to me on Discord. But I'm just going to get booted out of the game here while I just try and load up and get a replay. So there you go. I just want to break down a couple of things, to be honest with you, if you don't mind. Look at that one. Oops. Yeah, the game is, bear with me. Bear with me. Just going to break out. Don't worry about that, you're not going to be able to break that, to hack that, because the password is very, 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 very difficult. Which I want to show you. So we can break down a couple of games, maybe. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Yeah, we've still got quite some time. I don't know which one's which though. Which one's which? So this is from one of our games yesterday. You can see it from my point of view, for those of you who probably didn't see it. So we're playing, this was our tournament, one of our tournament games yesterday, where we were pretty much against the wall in this one. We'd already lost to this team in the first round, to be fair, and admittedly in the first game we only went out with 6 players, and we should have won the second game, but we didn't, and we potentially should have won the third game, but we didn't. So we got to meet them again because it is double elimination, and in this game we were already 1-0 down to them, so we had to sort of change the strats, and we decided to be quite aggressive on the A cap, which is where you're seeing me being aggressive on the A cap. Trying to sucker them in, especially this E5. Well, in fact, both E5s. So I know I've got tanks behind me because you can see we're being very aggressive on A and B. So we get an opportunistic shot in there onto the E5, and the idea was to try and get them, sucker them into this area, onto the tanks around and behind me, so we can then push them a little bit. We're very mindful of the E5. Sorry, the E3 that they had. He's coming down there to the B cap, and they've got a light tank right over on the C cap. Now, I haven't been able to take A at the moment, but the idea wasn't to take A in this game. The idea was to put them under pressure. And now that E3 is coming up, so be mindful of him. It's difficult to, and that's that light tank smacking me from the other side, and it's the TVP, I believe. So backing away now. We bounce the last shot on the TVP. Now we're going to look to push onto these 60 TPs here. So we'll take the one down, and then we'll swing it back around again. Try and put a bit of pressure onto this E3 if we can. You can see there we've got tanks coming in. So there's the TVP. So tried to track him, but didn't get the track. But we got a good roll into his bottom plate. You see their light tank in the Sheridan right over the back, but they've lost 3 tanks, 3 of their heavies over this side, which was our game plan. Our game plan was to whittle their heavies down as much as possible. This is a fluff shot by me onto the E3. Should have used Pramo, that was my bad. But the E3 finally goes down. That will allow me to take the A cap, which is what I do. They've got us on, they had the points, but we managed to whittle them down, so that was quite nice. Completely missed that shot on the Sheridan, which is very, very unfortunate. And I just can't load in time before one of my guys decides to wreck him, and there you go. So that was the game plan in that game, and it worked out nicely for us. And it brought us back into the battle, and then we went on to play them on Port Bay, where we did an interesting strat. So we had good fun in there. We finally we turned it around, and we won that and got us into the final, basically. So it was quite nice to do, and it's always nice. You can see there, I mean, Diatunis and Rowan doing a shed load of damage. 4k in the Shroud K for Diatunis, and Rowan doing 3.1k in that IS-7. Today we went out against Endgame, and I'll just show you the second game on Endgame when we rolled out in the IS-7 from the other spawn. We went out on the south spawn on the north spawn this time. So this is us against Endgame earlier today, for those of you who didn't see it. And the game plan here was to just be aggressive on the A-cap. We looked at their lineup. You can see from their lineup they've got a lot of 60 TPs, an FV215P, 2 121Bs and a Strav K. We were expecting the 121Bs and the Strav K to be around the A-cap area, with the 60 TPs pushing through the middle. So that was the idea behind it, which is why we decided to go heavily onto the A-cap with the IS-7s. Only the IS-7s and the Stravs, though, were to push the A-cap. Everybody else was sort of to mull around the ramp areas overlooking the B-cap. So the game plan was to try and anticipate where Endgame were going to send their tanks. And they blindsided us, really, because they never came this way. They went the other way, which it can happen. I mean, in tournaments, a lot of the time, it's trying to outthink the strategy of the opponent. And we thought in this one, those 121Bs and the Strav K would come this way with the 60 TPs in the middle. They actually went to the C-cap, which took us off guard. Now, we were tempted to push round into their spawn and get around the back of them, but that could have been a nightmare, because you just saw in the game they played against PoV, they played a similar strat against us, and they're going to bring those 121Bs around the side of us into our spawn. So that's why we're not pushing heavily into their spawn, because they are going to come round at some point. Now, the mediums are the pain in the backside tanks, so we've got to be careful of this. And in our mind, we're like, yeah, okay, we're going to be swamped by their 121Bs and their Strav over in our spawn. And that's exactly what they're now doing. You can see on the mini-map that they're pushing heavily towards our spawn. There are all three of them there, look. They've even got the 215B there. So the call was now to push through the B-cap and just heavily push through the B-cap and try and take them out. We've just lost a tank. Our Strav K has gone down. So now we may as well just push. And opportunistic shot there on Milk that I managed to land. And the idea now was to catch these 360 TPs in the center area, and I called for Milk to be the tank to be focused, and that was the call, because he is a one shot. So, but then Carolade comes around the corner, so I'm gonna engage with Carolade. Milk, down he goes. That's we're trying to sort of pincer Carolade here, so he's got two tanks to fire at. He fires at me, I get him tracked. So we should be able to push down onto Carolade. I'm very mindful that we're getting flanked through the middle. We've lost 3 tanks, they've only lost 1. I can probably finish off Carolade here as I try and move round. And Carolade is side on, so I'll take down Carolade because he can't take everybody out. Cap the B-cap. I can see Alpha and Barris. Well, Barris is a one-shot, so you're always going to go for the one-shots, guys. So I'll take out Barris, and down he goes. Unfortunately, I couldn't save Thomas, which is what I tried to do. And as I drop down, I'm just going to get farmed by their 121B, their 215B, and wow, it just ended in tears because you can't take that focus fire, basically. And, you know, well played to Endgame. We gave them a hard time. We took 3 of their tanks down, which is always nice to do against Endgame. But with their ability to bring those tanks around through our spawn and put us under immense pressure, it was always difficult. And that's the thing. I mean, they played the game. They played that game. They just outfoxed us completely. Outthought us and outplayed us, and there's nothing you can do about that. There's nothing you can do about that. It's just the way it goes. But it was enjoyable. I enjoyed it. You get quite a bit of credits for it, so that's always a good thing. And it was very nice. So there you go. But yeah, we got convincingly turned over by Endgame. Yeah, it happens. Right, let's see. I've run out of replays completely now. Run out of replays completely. Let's see how we go. We've still got effectively 15 minutes. We've got 15 minutes before we roll up into the final. We'll play this game. We'll watch this replay, then we'll have a look at the scores on the door. See who's through, see who's playing, see who's going out, see who's down into the third place playoffs, and we'll get an overall understanding of what's going down. I'm not a raid player. That wasn't my replay, no. It was somebody else's. These aren't my replays. And the two I've just shown you at the tournament are my replays, but these aren't my replays now. I do like this tank, the Camp 50T. It's a beautiful tank, to be fair. It's got a solid turret and pretty accurate gun. Oh, what a beautiful shot into the back of the Standard B that was. Poor old Standard B just keeps showing his backside, allowing those HE rolls to go into him. Unfortunate shot that should have sort of hit, but it didn't. So Standard B's coming back round. Standard B should have really got out of the danger zone there. He shouldn't have pushed through that area. He was always going to struggle. Now the FB's going to struggle. Oh, he's got the sport liner, so that helps him a lot. But I'm going to help him massively, and that's just a fluff shot there. Down he goes. So this is good stuff. Holding a ridge line is always the best way to go. He's got the VK-72. Turn to the back. This is the thing, I mean, if you get these tanks into crossfires, then you can always do stuff like this. And he's in a crossfire, you can only defend one aspect of him. The E100 really needed to come in and help out with his hit points there. And I understand what the E100 is doing, he's trying to protect himself. But it is a team game, so he should have used his hit points a little bit. But word of, you know, for those of you, you can see here that this Cam 50 is aiming for that drive sprocket on the E100. The E100's drive sprocket is incredibly weak, funnily enough. So if you ever get the chance, poke a shot into that drive sprocket on an E100. Even if you don't cause damage, then 9 times out of 10 you will track him, and that's always a good thing on an E100. That's a great game from Camu, who we saw earlier in the 5B, in the 50B, sorry. So that's a great game by Camu, so congratulations. Beautifully done. Right, let's have a look at the standings. We'll now get a good idea of who's where and what. Okay, so it's APA turned over Raid. It was 3-1, so it wasn't a whitewash. And Raid are now out playing in PWNZ in that third place playoff. So APA go through to the final against Alini. Alini, well, they were given a hard time as well for PWNZ, 3-1, so it wasn't a whitewash for them either. And now they've got a very tricky opponent in the form of APA. Then obviously we've got PWNZ in Raid, battling it out for that third place. Iqra and Jones. Well, that doesn't surprise me, to be honest with you. I really thought it would have been an Iqra-Jones final. Iqra turning over RNG, as we saw earlier, 3-0. Jones, well, they went out against FaZe, and it was taken to the wire. They played all 5 games. FaZe just failing on Halas there. So Jones managing to turn over FaZe. So FaZe will be playing against RNG for that third place. They've only just gone out, so we'll have no results with them at the moment. Further down into Group 3, well, Vale against Rejects. That doesn't surprise me. Vale, however, they were taken to the wire by AKTS. So my team were taken all the way to the... Well, my other team, this is our main team, taken all the way to the wire by AKTS, who have done really well there. But again, AKTS clearly struggling on Halas. A lot of teams do. So AKTS, not a bad team. I don't know them that well, to be honest with you. But they've done well. Whereas we're up against Rejects next. That's in Group 3. Rejects are playing really well, to be fair. I watched them recently, and they are playing really well. Meaning the third place is going to be Cryon and AKTS. Group 4, Noxu and Crowley. That doesn't really surprise me. Noxu are clearly managing to turn over Who, but it wasn't it was easy for them, 3-0. So Who need to sort of pick it up a bit. Noxu have got a pretty difficult opponent next, though, in the form of Crowley, who are playing incredibly well at this moment in time. So Opex and Who are fighting out each other there for that third place. Down into Group 5. Whoa, that is interesting. Imor against TQT. So Imor going to the wire against Uzra. Uzra, a really good team, but Imor managing to triumph on Halas, and they will face now TQT. TQT went out earlier against Bart. Bart have been playing really well, but they lost their 3-1 to TQT. So TQT are playing pretty nicely. We've got 5 minutes before we get the room, so I can't really show you too much. Group 6, we know, is Endgame against Iqra. So Iqra turning over Trick eventually, and it was 3-0. But pretty difficult matchup now, Iqra against Endgame. We've seen Endgame and how they play, so that's going to be an interesting game as well. So that's the leaderboard at the moment here for this stage. So that would have been a great game, Raid against APA, 3-1. So Raid would be a little bit disappointed that they didn't take it to a decider, but these things do happen. As I said, I'm not the only one streaming. So Pyroblast streaming in Russian. He has got, well, he's streaming Russian-Ukrainian. He has got Group 1, which is APA. Amunet has actually got Group 5. So not Group 6. I've got Group 6. No, has she got Group? I don't know what group she's got now, to be honest with you. But Amunet has not got Group 6. Even though she does say Group 6 there. I think she's got Group 2. I'm not sure. But she's streaming in English. Wild One's Halper, also streaming in English, has got Group 3. iShot, streaming in Russian, has got Group 4. 9-0, who is streaming in English, has got Group 5. And, of course, I've got Group 6. So, those are the streamers, so don't feel obliged to stay here. But we are following Endgame against Iqra next. And, so the rewards, the reason why I tell people to play, so first stage, if you come top, you get a shed load of coins, a shed load of cups, a shed load of XP, and a shed load of credits. That's all split between the team, of course. And then second stage, we came second, so we got a shed load of credits, a shed load of XP, and a shed load of cups as well, which is nice. And then in the third stage, where we didn't do so well. We still got a shed load of credits and a shed load of coins and a shed load of XP. So it's all very nice. And obviously you can use the coins for stuff. And I don't know how many coins I've got, to be honest with you. So they're all here somewhere. So there you go. We haven't got that many coins because we haven't got them all through yet. But yeah, you get coins and we got cups and everything. So it's all very nice. It's beautiful stuff. And it's all for free, basically. And again, you get lots of credits. And credits are always a nice thing to have. Yeah, it's always nice to have credits, just in case. And XP is always nice to have as well, because you need that XP for new lines. And with the new check line coming out, it's always good to have this stuff just in there waiting around, so you can use it if and when necessary. We haven't got much longer to wait, guys. About 3 minutes before we get the room invite, and then once we get the room invite, we'll jump in. Then we'll have to jump out again, waiting for the delay to catch up. But that grand final here today between Endgame and Iqra is coming very, very soon. Not much longer. So that's all we're waiting for. And trying to see what's happening out there, if anything. So, I'm not sure. Yeah, so all good fun. I'm just trying to see what's going on out there on Discord. Trying to get the lowdown on the lowdown. Anyway, there we go. So we're about a minute and a half before we get the invite. So not too much longer now to wait. To be honest with you, not much longer to wait. Been an interesting tour. I mean, PYS number 4 is the last one, as we know. So let's have a quick look. Let's see if I can get. So look at the tournaments for water tanks. I can try and see what the standings are at this current moment in time, so I can give you a sort of rough indication. We've still got another Prove Your Skill to go. Prove Your Skill number 4 is still to go. So it's by no means conclusive at this moment in time. But it is getting pretty tight, is as far as I'm aware. It's so let's have a quick look and see where we are, see who's topping the table and who's not. APA, I would have thought, is totally topping the table, and they are. So APA at the moment, the standings at the moment are APA in first place, Rejects in second, Aqua in third, Crowley in fourth, Raid into fifth, TQT sixth, and Endgame seventh, with AKTS eighth. Obviously, some of that will change after today, so I don't think it's settled, because it's not. Moving down to the top 16. Well, top 16, we have Iqra in 9th, FaZe in 10th, Jones 11th, POG 12th, Imor 13th, Noxu 14th, Uzrath 15th, and Vale in 16th. But again, all these will change today, because the likes of, for example, Uzra have sort of been moved around a bit. Raid lose cups today and stuff like that. And then you've got the rest of the teams who are battling it up. So PWNZ, Who, Bat, Cleon, RNG, A1N1, Unlucky, EE, Kraken S, Trick are all battling to get into that position of up there. So there's a long way to go for them. To be perfectly honest with you, it's not as straightforward as you think. And just to put you in the picture, because we only did one PYS. So we're way down. We're like 112th after one PYS. But we have a good CP rate, which is 60%, which is better than some out there. So we're quite happy with that. But we only played one PYS, and our performance rate is 60%, which isn't too bad. So that's the standings as it is at the moment. And it's pretty tight. I mean, the cups, at the moment, first, second, third, and fourth are all on the joint cups, so they are very close, and the rest are just nipping at their heels. So it's by no means over. But we are watching Endgame against Iqra, or Iqra against Endgame, whichever way you want to look at it. Going out onto New Bay, we'll have Iqra on the north spawn, Endgame on the south spawn. Neither team is fully readied up as of yet. They're still picking their meta. So we've still got to wait a little bit of time for that one. So there we go. Where Endgame have readied up, we have Winch in the Super Conk, Barris in a Super Conk, Foxexy in a 60 TP, Carolade in a 60 TP, Alpha, Lego both into Stravk's, Orca into a 60 TP. Moving over to Iqra, we have Psychopath Yevgeny in the 60 TP, 322 POV in a Stravk, Skilodu in a VK72, I never know how to pronounce this guy's name. The Hogarden, there you go, with a great garage slide. The Hogarden in a 60 TP, Kossa in an E5, the Lavru, the Lavrukaya. No, I'm going to call him the Lavru. The Lavru in a Stravk and Vata in a 60 TP. So a bit of ability on both teams there. What with those Stravks? A lot of heavy tanks, however. What with VKs and 60 TPs. And some pretty decent hold down tanks there. E5s, Super Conks. Interesting stuff. Interesting meta. Endgame will be looking to consolidate their lead at the top of that table. They'll be looking to climb up. Although the whole idea, I mean, they're at 7th at the moment. But don't forget, the idea is not to top the table after the PYSs. The idea is just to get into the top 8. Because that makes a big difference, getting into that top 8. And that takes you to the Professionals Tour. And that is the aim for these clans, to get into that top 8. And then once they're in that top 8, the top 16, then once they're in the top 16 to get into the top 4. So they're not always vying for position at this stage of the PYS. Not necessarily. Just getting into the next round is the aim of the game. Obviously, if they get into the next round as top 8, they have better seeding potential. Which again is something that they all vie for. Because seeding is a big thing. Anyway, enough of that. We are now going into New Bay. This is Iqra against Raid. Grand Final Group 6 here. For Prove Your Skill number 3 on the EU server. Hit points, wow, the hit points are firmly in favour of Iqra, mainly because they've got more heavies. So let's get up there and see how they're doing. So Iqra, wow, they'll be looking at sending POV in that Stravk out. He's got support from the rear. They're not pushing into the B cap. POV is pushing down towards the A cap. He has got support. Moving across the map, well, Endgame, they are pushing heavily into the C cap using those haul down tanks, the Stravks and the Super Conks, with the 60 TPs covering the heavy route through the city. They're just going to sit there on this little bank for this moment in time. Iqra are sort of en masse going through, with Cosa Nostra really far forward, and in a moment, poor old Cosa is going to come around this corner if he can get up the ramp, and he's going to see a lot of 60 TPs. Very, very, very quickly. C-cap and therefore bases are in favour of Endgame. Cosa Nostra has still not been spotted. But that is liable to change. No, he backs away. He's not minded to push around that corner just yet. Psychopath Yevgeny and the O-Garden are just covering the crossing point, but Winch is already crossed, so 2-cap advantage to Endgame. Scalodius, well, he's just holding back here in the VK in case they try to push through. But I think you'll find that Endgame now will just bunker down a little bit, because now now it's all about Iqra. Iqra need to start forcing something somewhere, and we've seen this sort of strat from Endgame more recently. whereby they're getting those early caps, getting that early cap lead, and really putting the pressure on the enemy to make the move. And that's exactly what they're doing here. And it looks like Iqra are going to be poised to try and move onto the B cap, and at the same time bring those super heavies down onto this middle area, which is exactly why those endgame 60 TPs are there. They're just waiting for these 60 TPs to come down this ramp, and then they can smack them. Winch is backed completely out of the B cap, and we've got the two Strav Ks here, Iqra. They're just hauled down at the moment on this little ridge. It's a very, very small ridge, but it's a ridge. And they're just hauled down on this ridge, waiting for their instructions to push. Cosa Nostra is going to come and join them, and Varta is just holding back in support. No, and Varta's now going to join too. So it looks like Iqra are going to try and make a push for the B cap, and they are. Winch is just around the corner. Lego, Alpha, and Barris are all got their guns trained. Scalodius will move through and try and turn the guns, but Scalodius does get smacked. In goes Cosa Nostra, and he does get tagged for his troubles. That's when Winch comes into play. And now Cosa Nostra's got to be careful because Alpha will be trained on him. They haven't managed to get the cap, and Winch has reset it yet again. So Cosa Nostra is in a little bit of trouble, but he has got support who will come in a moment in the form of the Strav Ks and the 60 TP of Varta. At the same time, over here, Psychopath Yevgeny and the Ogarden have taken the advantage and tried to take the 60 TPs of Endgame out of the battle. Cosa Nostra, though, is looking worse for wear as Alphar goes in. Vorta comes in to try and give some help, but Cosa Nostra is in a kind of a crossfire here. He's got Winch tussling from this side, and he's got Alphar trying to drag in from this side. Alphar gets heavily tagged by Varta, though, and now Paz comes in to help out Cosa Nostra, and all of a sudden Alphar is down, but hit points are in favour of Endgame, not Iqra. Down goes the Hogarten and 60p. Winch goes down, however. Barris is looking to try and turn over this VK. He does get a shot in. Foxexy will come in and help out. No, Foxexy bounces the VK of Scalodius. And all of a sudden, Scalodius is holding the line, but down he goes. Lego, however, goes down as Iqra push through the park towards the C cap. And they are going to take all the caps at this stage. Psychopath Yevgeny, no, he's decided not to cap. And he's going to push through. Karolade and Orca in the 60 TPs here. And down goes Karolade. And now it's 3 against 4. Hit points are still in, no, now in favour of Iqra, sorry. But Orca struggling a little bit there. Foxexy is taking the B cap as Barris comes in to try and give Varta a hard time. They'd love to get shots into those Strav Ks because they are very low, but they're not able to. Foxexy now coming back into the battle. Psychopath Yevgeny really giving Orca a hard time, but now he is a one-shot. It all depends. Is Orca able to land this shot? Paz looking to try and help out, but he doesn't need to because the owl comes round the back. Foxexy will take out Poj. No, he won't. Poj gets a tracking shot in. Foxexy didn't need that. Endgame has still got the point advantage. Foxexy will finish off this, and he does, but at the same time, it's now 1 against 1. Foxexy in the 60 TP against the Strav. Now, Foxexy has got 340 hit points, and the Zhal has only got 700. But that means he's a 2-shot. There's the 1. Oh, Foxexy manages to get the bounce. He's not really. Oh, and there he goes. And Iqra get the first game under their belt. 1-0 to Iqra as we roll into the next game. Swapping those spawn points here. Ah, Jackie, it's the way it goes, mate. I mean, you had a tough group, dude, to be fair. You had a tough group. So Iqra there just holding their nerve at the last and managing to get a defeat against Endgame. Swapping the spawn points now, 1-0, but it is best of 7, so it's the first of 4 victories. So they're only a quarter of the way there. Still a long way to go. The thing about endgame is sometimes they like to test their opponents. They like to sort of test them a little bit to see where their weaknesses are, and then sort of tailor their game around that. Anyway, endgame are now on the south spawn. We have Winch in the IS-7, Barris in the 60 TP, Foxexy in the T100, Carolade in the 60 TP, Alpha in a Strav K, Lego in a Strav K, and Orca in the 60 TP. Moving over to Iqra, we have Psychopath Yevgeny in the 60 TP, POV in the Strav K, Skilodius in a mouse, the Hogarden in a mouse, Casa Nostra in an E5, the Lav in a Strav K, and Varta in a mouse. So that's the lineups. Mouse is making a turn here. Skilodius and the Hogarden jumping in along with Varta. 3 mouses. They're going to be looking to push the C and the B cap, I would have thought, especially with those mouses. Not really much of a change for endgame. Okay, they brought Foxexy now into a T100 realistically, and Winch into an IS-7, but they've still got those 60 TPs and they've still got those Stravs. But they have got that mobility with the T100 LT, and that is always going to be an advantage to an extent, because they've got the option of getting mobile around the map. Foxexy is a great lights player, so never underestimate him. Let's get up high into the back. Pretty sure Iqra are going to be moving those mouses to that C cap. Can't really see them going anywhere else. And endgame have sort of thought, yep, that's where they're all going. Foxexy will be looking at trying to get A. All of a sudden, the Stravs are straighting along with that E5. They will push heavily into that C cap. Cosa Nostra is going round. The mouses are trying to cover the corner. B-cap will be taken by Winch. Foxexy will jump into the A-cap and effectively take the A-cap out of the game, where the rest of endgame will just bunker down around the B-cap area. Orca just pulling back, making sure he stays unspotted, but not able to. He has been spotted. Orca knows that there are tanks around there. You can see here endgame, well, they're hugging their ridgeline as well, pretty much like we saw Iqra do. Now Iqra again, they've got the base deficit, so they're the ones who are going to have to do the pushing. You can see here we've got the Strav Ks and the E5 trying to take their hull down positions overlooking B, and with those mouses, well, Varta is quite well forward there, covering the line. Skilodius is coming in. Foxexy is going to try and get around the side and give them a bit of a hard time, which is exactly what he's doing. Psychopath Yevgeny in the Hogarden, 60 TP and mouse respectively. They're moving around onto the ramp area, trying to catch out Lego. Lego is nicely hauled down though. Alpha will come and join him, and they'll try and give Psychopath Yevgeny a bit of a hard time. Although Alpha is going far wide, Skilodius comes in with the mouse as well, so this is a heavy route push from Iqra. Psychopath Yevgeny looking to engage onto Lego. Gets a great shot in. Lego gets the return. The Hogarden and Skilodius, well, Skilodius is pushing through. Orca is there to try and cover it, but at the same time, B-cap is being pushed. Barris and Carolide having to pull back a little bit. And you can see that Skilodius is coming in, and Cosa Nostra is coming in, Vorta's coming in, so these mouses are trying to pincer these 260 TPs. Orca is doing his best. They're going to put shots into the back of Vorta here. But Orca's got his own problems with Skilodius, but Vorta here in the mouse is looking worse for wear. And all of a sudden Barris is going to try and block the shots onto Orca, which he does. Cosa Nostra comes in to try and block the shots onto Vorta, which he does. Alpha is down, Carolade is down. No tanks down at the moment for Iqra. Winch is in trouble, Orca's in trouble. And at the moment, they're not able to get any tanks out of the game. And Barris is being pushed, but so is Orca in the 60 TP. These mouses are really giving a hard time. Down goes Psychopath, down goes Cosa Nostra. And now Lego is still alive over there. But Carolade, Orca, Winch, and Alpha for endgame all out. They do have the bases, but they don't have the hit points or the guns. Barris goes down. Fox Sexy goes down. No, yeah, he does. And it's all over as Iqra managing to turn it over here. 2-0 against Endgame. Iqra here deciding that they're going to be the ones commanding this game. And those three mouses were, well, just giving them a hard time. They played an interesting strat, and they really didn't give Endgame any room to breathe. And that was interesting. Great strat from Iqra. We now move into the next map, which is Port Bay. So from New Bay to Port Bay. We will have Endgame on the north spawn and Iqra on the south spawn. Just waiting for them all to ready up. Not going according to plan for Endgame at the moment. 2-0 down to Iqra. Iqra looking very, very strong, approaching the game very positively. We have Psychopath Yevgeny in the 60 TP, PoV in the Strav K, Skolodius in the IS-7, the Hogarten in the Strav K, Cosa Nostra in the 60 TP, the Lav in a Strav K, and Varta still in a Mouse. Now we're just waiting for Endgame. They're still picking their meta. So far we have Winch in the IS-7, Barris in the 60 TP, Fox Sexy in the 60 TP, Carolade jumping into the IS-4, although he may change, Alpha into a Strav K, Lego in a Strav K, Carolide sticks to the AS4, and Orca jumps into a Sheridan. Those are the lineups. That is their meta selection. It's 2-0 in favour of Iqra at this moment in time. Endgame need to dig a little bit deeper, bring this one back into the game themselves. Still a long way to go. It is best of 7. Iqra are only halfway there in the current stand. Still got to win 2 more battles to get this one. Endgame, well, they do have, and they've done it in the past, the ability to reverse sweep. So you can't rule them out just yet. But Iqra are playing nicely. The strats are going nice.
Let's go.
Well, let's get up high and see where they're going to be going. So Iqra not pushing out towards the C-cap. They're looking for a middle area, A and B, getting around the map. I'm pretty sure Orca will be looking for that C-cap area, with the rest of the Endgame just overwatching the port area. So Orca is going to be here, free real estate, totally uncontested. Doesn't need to take the C-cap just yet. And Winch goes out wide into the coal pile, and he sees a lot of tanks coming his direction. He does get a good shot in there into that Strav K, but he is going to be pressured heavily by Iqra. Shot comes across from POV, but doesn't land. Now we've got the Strav K's pushing Winch heavily. Winch does have support in the form of Lego and Barris and Alpha, so it's not like Winch is on his own here. But he is isolated, but his job is to just take these 3 guns out of the game and allow the rest of his team to make a move round. Not only does he take the 3 guns out of the game, meaning they're focusing him, but he also takes 1 of the tanks out of the game. And now, Fox Sexy, Barris and Alpha spring into action. They can see that Skolodius is very low. They can take him. Fox Sexy is going to push round and try and prevent the Hogarten from escaping. Pinstring in between him and Barris, and poor old Hogarten is going to lose that ball. Winch is down, Carolade is down, Orca comes in looking to put a big roll into the back of Cosa Nostra, which he should be able to do, and he does. POV in Varta, well, Hogarten is still alive over there, well he was, and now it's all about POV in Varta. It's 2 against too many, realistically, as now Endgame are sweeping back round. They're going to focus the Strav K. Although Barris is going to be blocking the Strav K from making a move and give any support to that mouse. Alpha will come round the back. Lego, there you go. And just like that, Endgame brings it back to 2-1. Much more impressive from Endgame there. They got that strat down to a T, played it really nicely, suckered Iqra onto Winch. And whilst Winch did go down, he did manage to take a tank with him, which was a big loss, to be fair, for Iqra. And then by whittling down a lot of their tanks, he allowed the rest of the team to push down and really just take them out of the game. So 3 tanks tied up against 1 tank, which was Winch. That is more of a classic style of endgame. We will now swap the spawn points. This time we have Iqra on the north spawn and endgame on the south spawn. We have Iqra, well, we have Psychopath Yevgeny now into a 72, POV into a Strav case, Skalodius in an E5, Hogarten into a Strav case, Cosa Nostra into a 60 TP, the Lav into a Strav K, and Varta in a T100 LT. Moving over to endgame, we have Winch in the IS-7, Barris in the 60 TP, Destiny now coming into the game in a Strav K, Fox Sexy in a 60 TP, Alpha Lego both in Strav Ks, and Orca into a 121B. So, great little game, that last game, not going to lie. Broke the dominance of Iqra. Iqra were very dominant on New Bay and really put a lot of pain onto Endgame. Endgame managing to reverse that fortune a little bit with that last game on Port Bay, but they've got to do it all again, and Iqra will be wiser to that now. So it's going to be an interesting game, this one. Iqra will be wanting to push themselves forward again, turn the deficit around. Endgame will be looking to try and get it to a decider and put a little bit of pressure onto Iqra. Hit points are in favour of Iqra, but it hasn't really, doesn't really have that many hit points. It's not that many, but it's enough. So getting up high. Seeing what Iqra do this time. Well, they're splitting their team. They're going to be overlooking B and C, with Skalodius and Varta overlooking A by looks on it. Cosa Nostra will overlook the B cap. Endgame quickly rotating around the map as quickly as we possibly can, while Orca and Destiny look like they're going out wide. Well, no, Destiny isn't. Orca is, with the rest of the team pushing heavily towards the C cap. Alpha, Destiny, and Lego, all in Strav Ks, pushing into that C cap. Iqra are there with Psychopath Yevgeny and the VK, and they've got their Strav Ks just behind, ready to spring into action. Endgame have got their 260 TPs of Fox Sexy and Barris just behind them. Good shot by Psychopath Yevgeny. He's got to be careful though, because Winch is coming round. Orca is there too. Orca gets a good shot from the side. Now, we have POV, the Hogarten, and the Lab just all waiting in those Strav Ks. They're not springing into action just yet, but then again, they don't need to. They've not been spotted. Then they're in a lovely hold down position. Unspotted, Lego, Alpha, Winch are all there. Psychopath Yevgeny at the moment is the only one spotted. And now Skalodius is coming in. Now the Stravs have been spotted. And all of a sudden, shots are going in left, right, and centre by Endgame. Endgame kind of realised that the Stravs were there. And now the Stravs are trying to come in. Psychopath Yevgeny has taken a push as well. Hogarten is looking really worse for wear. The focus of attention will be Hogarten, and it is. Hogarten is down. Now POV will be next on the list, which will be looking, and he does. Down goes Lego, though. Now they'll turn on to the Lav. The Lav will go down here. He's going to have a lot of endgame tanks pointing at him at this moment in time. Alpha, however, is looking really worse for wear. He will get out of that danger zone. Fox Sexy is looking to give Skalodius a hard time. He's blocking him from the retreat. And 3 tanks down for Iqra, make that 4. Skalodius goes down. Varta and Psychopath Yevgeny, however. Yevgeny is looking worse for wear. Fox Sexy is coming in. Yevgeny goes down. Varta, well, Varta is in a T100 LT, and he's very quick. And they'll chase him, and Orca will be looking to finish off here. Orca will be looking to put the ram in. Yes, he does. And down he goes, leaving Cosa Nostra as the last man standing. And all of a sudden, just like that, it's level 2-all. Endgame taking it up a notch here. Like I said, sometimes they like to test the water against their opponents. They like to see, what they can do, where they can do it. And you can see here that Endgame are able to turn things around. And Iqra at the moment, well, They gave a lot of pain to Endgame on New Bay, but Endgame gave them a lot of pain on Port Bay. As we now move into Alpenstadt, level pegging 2 apiece. Nothing between them at the moment. Now, we've already seen Endgame on Alpenstadt a few times today. They clearly kicked our backsides on Alpenstadt earlier. And then they gave their next opponents a bit of a hard time on Alpenstadt as well, PoV. So Endgame have played this, know how to play Alpenstadt. It'd be interesting to see how they approach it this time with Iqra. More importantly, it'd be interesting to see how Iqra approach it. They would have re-looked at the strats that Endgame have done on Alpenstadt. So we've got both teams ready up. Iqra, Psychopath Yevgeny in a 60TP, 322 Flame now coming in a 62p. PoV in the Strav case, Kalodius in a VK72, Casanostra in a 60TP, the Lav in a 60TP, and Varta in a FV4202. That is Team Bedbug from the clan Iqra. They're going off on the North Spawn. Endgame. Well, we have Winch in a Mouse, Barris in a 60TP, Destiny in a Strav K, Fox Sexy in a 60TP, Alpha and Orca both into 121Bs, Lego into a Strav K. That is Team Azerti from the clan Endgame. They're going off on the South Spawn here on Alpenstadt. It is level pegging. There is nothing really between them. 2 apiece. It is best of 7, so it's the first of 4 victories. So at this moment in time, it can go either way. But we have seen a sea change in Endgame in Port Bay. They've just knocked it up a notch. And Iqra have been convincingly pummeled after convincingly pummeling Endgame on New Bay. Iqra will be looking here to try and get that advantage back, to try and put a bit more pressure onto Endgame. So we can see Iqra moving en masse towards the middle area, overlooking the C and possibly overlooking the B. Nobody going towards the A cap. Endgame pretty much doing a similar type of thing, but from the other reverse. Now we've got Psychopath Yevgeny peeling off along with Flaming Cosa Nostra, heading towards the B cap. And that's exactly what they're looking for. They're going to be tentative around that area. Endgame, on the other hand, well, they're taking their tanks out wide. They will see Scalodius there in the VK72. They put shots in. Everybody's dropping their... Oh, look at the 60Ts. Psychopath Yevgeny here, trying to get round the side and the back of Fox Sexy and Barris. He's got Flame with him. And all of a sudden, Fox Sexy and Barris could be in a bit of trouble here. Casa Nostra in the 60TP coming in. Winch is also coming in to try and block those shots. Fox Sexy is looking worse for wear, though. And Fox Sexy is in a world of pain as Barris is pushing Flame out of the equation. Winch, well, he's trying to help out. Now Psychopath Yevgeny will be looking to put one into Fox Sexy. That's why he's pulled back. Fox Sexy, down he goes. Varta's down. Poj is down. Fox Sexy and Orca are both down, leaving that little drum there. Scalodius and the VK and Winch are tussling it out. Alpha and Cosa Nostra are tussling it out over there, but back over this side. Down goes Barris Turner. And all of a sudden, Iqra have got the advantage. They're getting the base as well. Winch is pushing through. Lego in Destiny in those Stravs. And Winch is feeling the hurt. Winch getting a lot of shots coming into him. Don't focus the mouse, but they're going to have to. They have no choice. Scalodius bouncing there. Lego in Destiny desperately trying to get that 60 TP's gun away from Winch. Winch puts a good shot into Psychopath Yevgeny, but Flame gets one back. And now he gets another one back. Scalodius is losing hit points, but it's 3 against... Oh, and now it's definitely 3 against too many. And all of a sudden, though, wowzers. 3 against 4. It's not over yet. Destiny is still pretty healthy. Hit points are in favor of Iqra, but that's very low. Alpha and Cosa Nostra here just tussling. Points, however, in favor of Iqra. They've got the bases. They've got the C cap, they've got the B cap. Alpha is looking to give Cosa Nostra a hard time. He's now got the drop on him just about. He may be able to use his mobility and his DPM. Oh, what a great shot from Scalodius, who's a one-shot. He's only on next to nothing. Winch is now a one-shot. Destiny is a one-shot. Iqra are going to take this one. And Iqra have brought it back. Winch is the last one standing in the mouse. Not much you can do about it. That was a massively important shot from Skilodius into Alpha. Came from nowhere. And by the way, Skilodius has got 35 hit points. So that was one hell of an important shot. Winch has got 33 hit points. Psychopath Yevgeny, Cosa Nostra, well, they're all one shots. Every single tank is a one shot. Winch can't do anything about it. He knows he can't do anything about it. Down he goes. 3-2 and match point to Iqra. Tough fought battle that, but a great little move from Iqra, bringing those tanks of Psychopath Yevgeny in flame right around the side, catching Fox Sexy and Barris off guard a little bit, and able to put them into a pincer crossfire movement and really pummeling them. Swapping the spawn points now here on Alpenstadt. This time we will have Iqra on the south spawn, endgame on the north spawn. Endgame readied up very quickly there. Winch into a super conk, Barrios into a 60 TP, Destiny in a Strav K, Fox Sexy in a 60 TP, Alpha Lego still in their Strav Ks, Orca now jumping into a T100 LT. Over to Iqra. Wow, we're just waiting on Psychopath Yevgeny. At the moment we have Flame and an